Okay, so let's see how my predictions for NVIDIA and the SP500 index have been panning out in these last days. This is very interesting because today Europe, the European Union, just had elections, general elections. Lots of right-wing parties gain a lot of power. In fact, some are even projected to be the next leading parties, the next presidents. And I think this is related to my predictions in the sense that there has been some volatility, there is a lot of movements in the markets. I know I am looking at specifically American stocks and American companies, but usually what happens in the US also reverberates all the way across the Atlantic. So anyways, let's begin with a recap for my prediction for NVIDIA. This is a chart that I made days ago, and today I'm going to be making the first update. So the first circle we have for the 5th of June, we had 3 circles, right? In general, the day was going to be either very volatile or very rangish. And there could also be a dip on that day because we have a red circle, 5 or 6 of June, a downtrend, and a strong uptrend by only 5. So what ended up happening is that we got the strong uptrend. You can see clearly the day begins right here, ends right around here. It was indeed a very strong, very consistent. We barely saw any red candles. There was only 1 or 2. Very clear uptrend. So the downtrend did not happen on that day, on the 5th of June. But it indeed happened on the 6th of June. Look at this. This is a big, very big and strong red candle. The day closed on a position lower than the one it started with. So you can see clearly the price just dipped all the way down here. It tried to recover, didn't have enough strength to keep going, and dip again to similar levels. Finally, the day ended right around here. So, of course, you can see the price closed on a lower position, and that indeed materializes the downtrend that we predicted for that day. So, like I said, it did not occur on the 5th of June, but on the next day, we saw the clear downtrend. Now let's see the next circle. We have a yellow circle, 7 or 8 of June. We're expecting the price to be either very volatile or very rangish. These days are hard to define if they are going to be downtrends or uptrends, so that's why they are in yellow. June 7 begins right here. You can see the price didn't do much for the first initial hours. It only tried to gain upwards. It lacked enough strength to keep going, but the price nonetheless remained in a position above from what it started, right? So this day was very rangish, I must say. Did not see a lot of volatility. Was very normal in that sense, not much to do. These days, yellow days are usually great for scalping, but really depends on how volatile the days are. As you can see right here, was a very lazy day, and the day the price closed on a higher position, slightly higher than the one we started with. So it was indeed a yellow circle, as we predicted, and that's all we have for NVIDIA, because the day of the recording of this video is June 9, so we're going to see Monday the next circles develop. We're expecting a yellow circle, which means a lot of volatility or range. I personally think it's going to be some a little volatile, leading up to the next downtrend by 11 or 12. Okay, so that's all we have for NVIDIA. Now let's update. Let's do a recap for the SP500 index. So this chart begins on June 3. The day begins right here. We predicted a downtrend with a lot of volatility or range, meaning the price is going to be very neutral. That's exactly what happened. Lots of volatility that day. You can see the price begins right here. Took a massive dip, several consecutive red candles, very strong. But then we saw a recovery. This recovery was very critical because if you remember that day, the markets were they were behaving very erratically. We saw a lot of commotion, lots of people worried about the US economy, very great news about the state of the US, like, I don't know, the Fed cutting rates, something like that. All of that news affected all of this, and we saw it reflected exactly in this volatility, very strong volatility. We almost returned to the initial position, but the day ended on a lower position than what we started with. So this was indeed a double circle correct prediction. It was indeed a downtrend with a lot of volatility, exactly as I predicted. Now the next circle, we were expecting an uptrend by either June 5 or 6. June 4th behaved in a kinda uptrendy fashion. We indeed saw an uptrend, but not as strong as the one we are starting to see on June 5. Look at this, all the way up here. Very strong, very consistent. Lots of green candles, only like 2 red candles. Very strong uptrend, unlike the one we saw on the day prior to June 5. You can see lots of red candles in the beginning, lots of uncertainty. Finally, the volatility by the final hours, it's what consolidated the uptrend for June 4. But the next day, next circle, June 6 or 7, we were expecting the price to be behaving very neutral or in a very volatile fashion. We saw kind of a mix of both for those 2 days. June 5 was a downtrend, very slight downtrend with some volatility, you can see right here. But also the price didn't do much that day. And June 7 was a very slight uptrend. You can see the price almost ended on a position very similar to the one we started with. So these days were indeed 7 and 6 were yellow days. I mean, nothing much to do on those days. I don't usually trade on those days unless I want to do scalping, but scalping is very demanding, especially for me because I have a lot of projects. Scalping is not really my favorite activity. So anyways, guys, that's what we have for today for the SP500 index. The next days I expect the days to be in a very similar fashion, such as this. Could be very volatile because we also have a coming downtrend by either 10 or 11 of June, with possibility that June is going to be very volatile because you can see it also shares with the next circle, a green circle. You can see 11 or 12. So let's see what happens on the 11th of June. But the next days I expect to behave in a very exactly similar fashion, almost identical to what we have so far. So as you can see, both of these predictions are very accurate. They are extremely accurate, like 100% accurate so far, both of them. This is amazing. This is incredible. I'll never stop saying this because no one else does and has the accuracy like I have, and no one else does this, and especially no one else shares this like for free. I mean, you gotta know when the real ones are really dealing here, right? Anyways, guys, I don't want to make this video any longer. Share this video, like, subscribe, all of that, and leave your comments if you want. Like I said, I think this is going to be very related to what happened on Europe and the European elections. It's going to be asymmetrical in that sense. So we just have to wait and see how that develops. I have not made any geopolitical predictions about Europe. I have made some political predictions for Russia and some presidents, but this is not the channel for that kind of information. Anyways, guys, I'll see you later. Take care.